Welcome to Amazing World Channel.
Mariano Rajoy and Puigdemont are two leaders with very different agendas when it comes to Catalan independence, but they have one thing in common. Both are and want to remain members of the EU.And given Spain's large contribution to the EU budget and Catalonia's large contribution to Spanish coffers as one of the country's richest regions, the EU would prefer they remained part of the club too. So where is the EU voice of influence in the worst constitutional crisis to beset one of its members in decades? Yes, we heard European Council President Donald Tusk this week implore Catalonia not to push for independence and for Madrid to negotiate. Image Spanish PM Mariano Rajoy has demanded clarity over Catalonia's independence declaration. Yes, we heard European leaders like Emmanuel Macron and Angela Merkel weighed in. But where is the voice and potential leverage of the heads of the EU bodies and institutions? Catalan leader Puigdemont's provocative signing of a declaration of independence, whether symbolic or not, has pushed the crisis into more dangerous territory. Spanish Prime Minister Mariano Rajoy has asked for clarification, if that was for real, and if it was, the threat of suspending the region's autonomy could follow. So too could thousands of national police, vilified for their strong-arm tactics around the referendum, and the army. That could trigger further social unrest in a region where even those who oppose independence cling passionately to Catalonia's high degree of self-governance. Where is the EU voice of influence in the worst constitutional crisis to beset one of its members in decades? Michelle Clifford: it is a risky strategy for Mr. Rajoy, but is it really, as the EU keeps telling us, purely an internal matter for Spain? Mr. Puigdemont has until Monday to announce whether his statement to Parliament was really a unilateral declaration of independence. Surely time for the EU to signal its intent to get involved as an official and independent broker. Mr. Rajoy says he will not negotiate with those who use illegitimate means to achieve their end. The Catalonian referendum was illegal, but surely if the weight of the Council of Ministers, the heads of EU nations, signalled an intent to act as broker, it might hold sway. The EU's position so far has been to swing behind the Spanish government in rejecting the result of a referendum deemed unconstitutional, and that is understandable. But does that preclude deploying expertise to try to resolve a political conflict with potential repercussions, not just for Spain, but Europe too? Image Puigdemont signs Catalonia's independence declaration. It would certainly be awkward territory for the EU to navigate, but so is Brexit, and EU experts are getting on with that job. The EU has plenty of diplomatic expertise and hard negotiators who could bring their skills to the table. Renouncing unilateral independence in return for a legal referendum could be a way forward. Offering constitutional change to give autonomous regions a better deal could quell the clamour for independence. An issue cited often is the fact that Catalonia pays more in taxes to Madrid than it gets back. Mr. Puigdemont has admitted that it's obvious we need mediation. Who better to do that than the members of the geographical and political club whose mass interests would be served by a stable member or members given the eventual outcome? Sky Views is a series of comment pieces by Sky News editors and correspondents, published every morning. Previously on Sky Views, Paul Kelso grow up and talk about social care.